I'm Ezra Raya, and this is the Manila Times. Lawmakers are calling for a peaceful and diplomatic solution to the escalating tensions in the West Philippine Sea. According to a statement by Senate Committee on National Defense, Chinese ships continue to swarm at the country's exclusive economic zones, or EEZs. China has so far refused to respect international law and has sought to change the prevailing legal norms by force. President Marcos has decided to create a new office and position focused solely on handling the country's problems with China, with Armed Forces of the Philippines Chief of Staff Andres Centino being appointed as presidential advisor on the West Philippine Sea. Joining us is Chairman of the Philippine Council for Foreign Relations and former Ambassador Jaime S. Bautista. Welcome to the Manila Times, sir. Sir, with the international law by your side, what are our chances in abating conflict with China?
To have the trust of its trading partners. So we have to dialogue with China, and hopefully China will prove to be a true friend and will eventually enter into an agreement for the peaceful settlement of the issues. As I said, it is in China's interest to dialogue and to achieve a win-win solution. And the win-win solution is for China to accept the prevailing legal norms, not to attempt to change the legal norms, because this will only lead to instability, which is bad, that not only for the Philippines and for the world, but especially for China. China needs peace and stability for the success of many of its projects, including the One Belt, One Road initiative of China. It's a question of time. We will see what happens, because we will continue to dialogue. And our first objective is for China to accept the arbitral award, because it has now become part of international law.
Do you think the Philippines will still remain strong in upholding the code of conduct and the arbitrary, or are we? Is it smarter to just compromise with powerful countries such as China?
We do not intend to confront China militarily. No. We are confronting China with reason. But we believe, well, I believe that China will not, it is not in the interest of China to wage war, especially because the scenario now has changed. We are all aware now that we have the support of the United States, not only of the United States, but of many of the countries in the European Union who wish to uphold the provisions of Unclos. And they wish to protect the rights of freedom of navigation and overflight, because it is in their interest and in the interest of China itself and of the world to protect free trade. So it's not an intention. We do not have the intention of confronting China militarily, but we have begun to modernize our armed forces, and we have our friends and our allies to support us in different forums, because in these forums we will be needing the support eventually of other countries who share our interest. And now that there has been a rapprochement between the Philippines and the United States, we can now rely on the Mutual Defense Pact in case we are attacked. But I wish to stress that the Mutual Defense Treaty is precisely that. It is for defense. It is not intended to confront any country, not intended to confront China.
Sir, so you mentioned earlier that we should have a dialogue with China to finally resolve this issue at the West Philippine Sea. But some lawmakers would say that they want to get behind in elevating this to the United Nations or even the International Criminal Court. So which is the best way to go? So should we resolve this with China, with just the two countries, or should we involve the International Court?
We are in dialogue with China. And it's not only the Philippines, but it's ASEAN as well, because as you know, the code of conduct in the in the South China Sea is not only the Philippines with China, but ASEAN with China. So we will be supported by ASEAN in this in this way, because all of the countries in our region want peace and stability. So that is our message to China. The code of conduct is the path to peace and prosperity. We'll wait for China to be enlightened, and hopefully this will happen.
You would like to reiterate that China must honor the international law and surrender its claim to the Philippines.
It's not a question of China surrendering, because they never had any rights. It's a question of recognizing our rights. China has never had any rights at all with respect to our exclusive economic zone and our continental shelf. We'll keep on working, and that we'll continue the dialogue with China, and we will also continue our efforts to get support from ASEAN and from other forums in order to attain our objective.
Thank you so much, Chairman of Philippine Council for Foreign Relations and former Ambassador Jaime S. Bautista. Maraming salamat po, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Isra.